All right, we're back live with Paranormasight. Let us continue right away. Uh, who were we on? Yako and Mio. Okay. So I think we just got done talking with I'm sure I'll remember when I see her name. Not Mayu. Hitomi? Yeah, we just got done talking to Hitomi. And trying to get information from her. Let's see. We'll need to talk with Mr. Araishi. He definitely knows something. It should be safer during the day, so I think we should try to look for him. Let's try heading someplace someone may know where he is. So I guess we're gonna try and look for Mr. Araishi. Komagata Bridge, Ryogoku Bridge. Candy Shop Sonoya is our house. Komagata High School, didn't we just come from there? 9 a.m. I wonder if this is going to use up... I guess it is going to use up time, so... And so... Mio Kurosuza and Yako Sakazaki decided on their next location to investigate. Oh, okay. So, we chose a location, and now it's closed off to us. Or, I mean, I guess, when we pick up with them next, we'll be at that location. So we might have to redo days to sort of start from location selection. Oh, I see. Okay. Cool. So that's good to know that we can just sort of go back and choose the location very easily again. And so... Alright, let's go back to Harue, Shigima, and life can be tough. Summary of previous events. Throughout the night, Richter continues to gather information about the curse stones, while Harue lies awake until dawn, preoccupied by the prospect of bringing her lost child back to life. So, an hour later than Mio and Yako. Okay. Richter. Good morning, ma'am. How are you feeling? I'm fine. I hope we can make good progress today. How's your curse stone looking? I haven't felt anything from it since sunrise. Interesting. It's possible that his powers can only be unleashed at night then. That aside, why are you so late this morning? There are, unfortunately, some things that can't be investigated while the world slumbers. So I'm actually kind of wondering, on Shogo's playthrough, you actually meet her at night, and she's going around trying to kill people. So I'm wondering if there is a line of questioning where we actually have her focus on, like, trying to bring her son back, and we do it the previous night, not to don't go into today essentially. But anyway, there are unfortunately some things that can't be investigated while the world slumbers. But I did get some research done in what limited time I had. Very well, let's talk. We may be surrounded by curses and death, but it matters little. My only concern is whether I can see my child again. Okay. Mansion entrance, surroundings. The town is beginning to wake up once more. The clamor of society can be heard from beyond the garden gates. Like any day, a cloud of pollution drifts out from the industrial area. This is the old mansion where I was born and raised. No one's in the mansion at the moment. The door has been locked shut. The housekeeper has already left after cleaning and preparing food. He's looking a bit tired. He must have been up all night investigating. By the way, there's something I wanted to talk to you about. And what's that? Our current plan is to steal a curse stone that's already absorbed soldier eggs, but I'm wondering if it would suffice not to steal, but instead negotiate with the curse bearer and have them use the right for our purposes. Oh? I mean, I suppose that would accomplish the same, but do you think it's possible? So long as we offer compensation, it may prove much easier than you'd expect. Compensation? Cash, for instance. That wouldn't be off the table for a family as rich as the Shigemas, would it? Of course. Why, any amount would be fine if it'd get the job done. I won't let money matters lead me to regrets the way it did back with the ransom. Okay, with that option on the table, let's figure out our strategy. Do you have any curse bearer with whom we can negotiate in mind? Not yet. Surprisingly, it seems the other curse bearers haven't been that proactive about collecting soldier eggs. Maybe because Tetsuo has been working quite hard to collect the curse stones. Okay. Did you see the news this morning? No, I haven't. Overnight, 3 mysterious deaths were reported in this area. They've yet to announce the identities of the bodies found, but they've been nicknamed the Honjo serial killings. It's garnered quite some attention on the streets. Oh my. Only 3. That's what I thought. Even if the victims were curse bearers, just 1 or 2 wouldn't be enough soldier eggs. And for what those curse stones are capable of, a mere 3 victims seems a little on the low side. With this little activity all through the night, the curse bearers must be a cautious bunch. What's holding them back? Are we not all after the power of resurrection? There may still be some undiscovered victims, but it doesn't seem like anyone has gathered enough soldier eggs yet. We might have to set up some bait to spur them into action. And then we offer them the deal? None of the curse bearers seem very proactive. I wonder if this situation would be what the mastermind who kicked it all off intended. Now that's an interesting theory. You think there's someone behind this all? You mentioned hearing an agonized voice telling you to kill when you first obtained the curse stone. That doesn't sound like a coincidence to me. Someone agitated the curses in this area on purpose, and they are likely after the rite of resurrection as well. So you're thinking, this person is not one of the curse bearers? You've got a sharp mind, ma'am. Though it might seem obvious for the mastermind to become a curse bearer and collect soldier eggs if they were after the rite, This would be very risky since as a curse bearer, they themselves would become a target. So it'd actually be more convenient for them if the curse bearers moved less aggressively. That's right. But despite that, they've been inciting the curse bearers to commit murders. Why? Let's consider this. What if the mastermind isn't trying to collect soul dregs themselves? You mean their intention was also to steal the souls, while the other curse bearers compete with each other from the start? Sitting back and observing from the sidelines is the safer course of action, which is why I figured it best for us to attempt the same strategy. So how should we do it? There's still reason to suspect the mastermind could be a curse bearer themselves. To be honest, I want to keep my distance from whoever it is. There's no telling what kind of power they might possess. Whether our aim is to negotiate or steal, we'll have to outpace the mastermind in making contact with the other curse bearers. How do you suppose we do so? At this point, all we can do is search. If there's a mastermind inciting the curse bearers to collect soul dregs, can we be sure there even is a rite of resurrection? Good question. The rite could be nothing but a myth fabricated to spur the curse bearers into action. Seeing it might be for naught, do you want to give up, ma'am? Never. Understood. After all, we'll never know the truth unless we see it for ourselves. But we'll do it without using the curses ourselves. So, actually, all three of our main characters. Not a one of them wants to use the curse. Which puts us in quite the dilemma, actually. I'm wondering if we're in a situation where we have no choice but to use the curse or they die, like there's no other choice, then if we use it, I wonder how the story handles that. Like, what do they think? Well, I guess we'll find out when it happens. By the way, I met a few people who seemed like potential curse bearers last night. I did some investigating into all of them, but I only managed to get detailed information on 2. You're quick. I suppose that's to be expected from an investigator extraordinaire. I appreciate the flattery. First, there's Ayame Tono, the girl we talked to before, though she isn't a curse bearer herself. She's a student attending T University of Art. She currently lives alone in an apartment near Midoricho Park. You even determined her address? You're not one to be underestimated, Mr. Investigator Extraordinaire. I called every single university with ukiyo-e in the curriculum pretending to be her parent. I went around to check on her place on the way here. It doesn't seem like she returned home last night. Okay, so she's near Midoricho Park. I wonder if she does have a curse. Just because that's where Shogo and Yoko, I think her name was, where they were killed. I'm worried she might have run into some trouble. Didn't you attempt to follow her last night? I'm embarrassed to say, but I couldn't. She shook me off. I couldn't keep track of her. And here I thought you were an investigator extraordinaire. I'd like to learn more about her, but it would take some time. She is planning to steal the curse stones just like us. It's best we act carefully around her. Next is a tall man who is dressed in black. I met him near Kinshicho. He stood out with the way he dressed. I managed to get some good information from him. Impressive. What can I say? He works as the secretary to Hihaku Soap's chairwoman. I believe his name is Takumi Yumioka. The Hihaku Soap's headquarters and factories are both located in Honjo, correct? Yes, they've been here for a while, but it's only in the past 10 years that the company has shown significant growth. I remembered seeing the chairwoman on the news a few years back. She seemed to be very shrewd. With the increase in sales, I assumed she'd want her factories running at full capacity. But with the harsh restrictions against industrial waste, a lot of the factories with older equipment had to be shut down. That's right. Even 10 years ago, there were many complaints about chemical plants dumping waste into the river. Most companies back then were not concerned with were more concerned with making a profit than protecting the environment, which is probably still the truth today. I wonder what a man working for such a company would have been up to in the middle of the night. On the way here, I stopped by the company's headquarters, but they hadn't started for the day. I should have better luck later. Let's hope you will. Perhaps they're interested in seeing if the right would be beneficial for their product research into beauty and skincare. Ha! Now that's an interesting thought. I ran into one more suspicious young man last night. This one seemed to be out collecting soldier eggs, right? Indeed, I couldn't get a good look at him, though, and I couldn't gather enough intel to properly identify him. Well, that's a shame. But I can make an educated guess. Oh? You know that researcher who discovered the ancient text on the rite of resurrection? The one that lives near here? His name is Hideki Araishi, and the man I met was very similar in stature. Oh my, even if he is involved? How awfully suspect. Considering his background, couldn't he be the one who initiated the whole affair? I think it's possible, yes. Which is why I decided to refrain from making contact with him for the time being. Safety first. Understandable. Of course I want to learn more, but this isn't the right time to focus on him. I prefer to ascertain who else is a curse bearer. First, I'll return to Hihaku Soaps to see that man in black. Their headquarters are down on South Warigasui Street. Okay. I learned something new about the criminal involved with the kidnapping. It concerns the serial killings. There was a body found at Komagata High School. The person was identified as a school teacher. His name was Kohei Jonochi. Do you think he was a curse bearer? Not sure. It's possible. But regardless, this means the two people who knew the truth about the kidnapping are both dead. Just when we were getting somewhere. It isn't enough to make me give up, of course. Still, we don't know anything about Michio Shiraishi's residence. It'd be wise to pay it a visit. Understood. In addition to the 3 victims associated with the Honjo serial killings, there's Michio Shiraishi, who reportedly committed suicide, and the police officer who died at the former Yasuda Gardens. If strange deaths continue occurring like so, they're bound to inspire strange rumors. But those last 2 had nothing to do with the 7 mysteries, no? It's true, both occurred a week before this accursed situation began. Still, it cannot be ruled out. It's possible that the mastermind was involved even with those killings. How? What if there were preliminary steps to awakening the 7 mystery curses? Can we really assume they're unrelated just because the timing doesn't match up? Or rather, the police officer's death is so baffling that it'd be easier if it were connected to these curses. The victim wasn't the type to be caught off guard easily. You seem to know a lot about this. I suppose we weren't strangers. My personal feelings might be wrapped up in this one too. I see. If you were to investigate this matter more, you might get a lead on the mastermind. You're right. If we wish to focus on the mastermind's identity, this would be a fine starting point. So, we can investigate the curse bearers, and wants to start with Hihaku Soaps, which would be the tall dude. We've also got potentially investigating the 2 murders, well, the 2 deaths of Michio and the police officer, which would potentially lead to the mastermind. We might even discover more deaths related to the curses on the way. We should pay attention to today's news. Well, that's all I have to report. Shall we continue with our investigation? What do you want to do? If you still can't use the curse stone, taking a walk should be a fine place to start. Right. Let's go together. I want to see what's going on for myself. In that case, I'll trust you to decide on where we should go, ma'am. Oh, let me look around. See if we get Nope, okay. Where should I go to begin my search? Which places have stood out to me most so far? Okay. So, Midoricho Park was the girl, I believe. South Warigasui Street was, I think, the tall dude. And Komagata High would be, I suppose, following the line of the murder? Or no, the kidnapping, right? If I were to investigate this matter more, you might get a lead on the mastermind. Although I think Midoricho Park was also... You know what? Let's just send them to Komagata High School, because we might be able to meet up with both. Here we are at Ground Zero, Komagata High School. I guess it's logical that the police got this place shut down. The teacher's body was found here after all. It's as if the students have nowhere to go now that the school is closed. First thing to do is look for that little chicken sign thing. But no. Wait, was there a person over here? Oh, I see. They're like disappearing and reappearing, I guess, as they like walk around. The news has attracted a bunch of curious onlookers, huh? That works in our favor. The more people around, the better we can blend in. He appears to be wary of those police officers. Maybe the police really do have something against private investigators, just like in those detective novels. Two people have died, a teacher named Kohei Jonochi and a student, Michio Shiraishi. Is there anything else to be gained here? It seems the officers are still inspecting the scene. Entry has been strictly prohibited. Okay. This place is said to be connected with the story of the Fool's Procession. I wouldn't be surprised if a curse bearer decided to turn up. However, I need to find out if that teacher was a curse bearer or not. I expect the police to be baffled, since they don't know about the curses. I can ask around and see what the students have to say. I don't know if we're gonna get anything from this. Alright, I'll go ask the students about Michio. I'm back, ma'am. So what did you learn? That school kids sure love a good rumor. I was practically drowning in stories about Mr. Jonochi and Michio, most of which seemed dubious at best. Not surprising. Most of what I heard was hardly worth a second thought, but there was one story that caught my attention. Oh? Some believe that Michio is the one who killed Mr. Jinochi. Really? The story's got two pieces of evidence to back it up. One of them wasn't news to me. Apparently he's been mumbling that Michio was going to kill him for some days now. A fellow teacher overheard his mumbling and told the students. And then it spread like wildfire, I suppose. Rumors that juicy don't stay a secret for long. As for the other piece of evidence, a pigtailed girl in her school uniform was seen around school late last night. Go on. Although numerous people claim to have seen the girl, not one of them saw her face. Some are proposing it was Michio, brought back to life, or that it was her vengeful spirit. But it's not like Michio is the only high school girl to wear pigtails. This rumor might have been made up, just to fan the flames. But if it were true, I'd want to get a hold of her in order to hear her side of the kidnapping. If she's alive, that'd be ideal. There's still one more thing I should mention. I discovered where Michio lived. The student had a list of student addresses on hand. That's an amazing find. I believe all of the students actually have a copy of said list. It truly worries me how easy it was to obtain what should be confidential information. Imagine what would happen if that information got into the wrong hands. Well, so far it hasn't, no? Sure, let's hope it stays that way. In the meantime, it's now possible for us to visit Michio Shiraishi's house. I can imagine the students are uneasy after learning of the murder. It may do them well to stay home for some time, if not for fear of their safety. The police are probably too wrapped up in solving the case to be concerned about the students' mental health. I can see that. It's important that society provides a safe environment for the benefit of our youth. Some school policies could use some rewriting, especially those handling the students' personal information. That's right. I don't want a student being kidnapped on their way back home ever again. I expect criminals to grow more cunning as time passes. There may be times where the authorities can't keep up. That's where outlaws such as myself come in. What's this about? Actually, just forget I said anything. Okay. So I think we got everything here. Michio's home. I'd expect her family might be able to tell us more, but it's a hard topic to bring up so soon after her suicide. However, it's normal for a high school girl to keep things hidden from her parents, especially if it involved criminal activity. Okay. Michio Shiraishi's house. So, this path would lead us to, theoretically, finding about the killer. Or the kidnapper, not the killer, my bad. Near the Shiraishi household. How did it go? I went to visit Michio Shiraishi's family home, however, no one seemed to be there. I got no answer at the door and all the lights were out. It seems to have been empty for a while now. There was a stack of newspapers out front. Alright, let's start by looking around. It's a bit quieter over here. It is a residential area after all. All these rundown row houses really scream working class, don't they? Okay. I don't understand why no one's come to this house even after Michio's committed suicide. I wonder if this place is okay. I've never liked these messy and cluttered back streets. They give me the jitters every time. It's reassuring to have someone as strong and tall as Richter accompanying me. He looks so unfazed. I suppose a detective is used to this kind of thing, always investigating and chasing criminals. I wouldn't be cut out for it. Social connections run deep in working class areas like this place, so I decided to talk to the locals. I met a few nice old ladies who were kind enough to give me the scoop. Turns out that Shiraishi's reputation really went down the dumps this past year. Is that so? I'll give you the quick summary. They moved here about 3 years ago. Their previous residence was in a better part of town. Michio's father died in a car accident, leaving behind just the two of them. Michio's mom, Toshiko, now a single mother, relocated here. At first they got along with their neighbors, many of which were in similar situations, helping and being helped in turn. So far so good. What happened? Well, as I said, their reputation began to go downhill about a year ago. A man recognized as Toshiko's common-law husband had moved into the household. His name was apparently Kankichiro Iwai. Neighborhood gossip is something else. Somehow everyone knew his name. What of this Iwai character? He was apparently a vulgar fellow with a criminal record. He was prone to violent outbursts. The neighbors often heard screams and shouting coming from the home. The neighbors took particular notice of Toshiko's screams, pleading with him to not hit Michio. That's terrible. As if that wasn't unsettling enough, every night the neighbors also began to hear an eerie chanting. Through this, the Shiraishis standing in the neighborhood plummeted rapidly. Toshiko was often seen covered in bruises and wounds. She stopped responding to her neighbors. She would just turn the other way when greeted. They kept their storm shutters closed even during the day, and effectively shut themselves away from the entire community. That sounds horrible. Why didn't the police step in and do something? Unfortunately, under the current laws, the police aren't allowed to get involved with domestic disputes. It's awful. And then Michio reportedly killed herself. Things only got worse with Iwai, and Toshiko was admitted to the hospital for physical and mental abuse. Ever since, Iwai hasn't returned to the home. Many locals expressed sympathy for Michio's circumstances, but just as many were fed up with the Shiraishis entirely, and seemed relieved that things finally quieted down again. It seems that they were still considered outsiders even after 3 years of living here. I don't understand it. Why would Toshiko have gotten involved with such a brutish good-for-nothing in the first place? I've heard many stories where one partner's personality does a complete turn after ending a relationship. After her first husband's death, Toshiko's financial situation had also taken a turn for the worse. She was determined to send her daughter to a good high school. It's possible she fell victim to sweet promises. Life can be tough, I suppose. You don't seem moved by the story, ma'am. That's fine. People have all kinds of stories. Okay. Yeah, he looks like a nice fellow. Common-law husband of Michio Shirai's mother, Toshiko Shiraishi. Kankichiro started coming and going from the Shiraishi household a little over a year ago. It seems he has served some time in prison, but the details are unknown. Alright. The Shiraishis were dealt a tough hand. I can't imagine what it was like. Could it be the girl was forced by her circumstances to take part in the kidnapping? Well, there's a thought. But the Shiraishis certainly hadn't lucked out with theirs, bringing such a violent man into it. Okay. So we need to move again? I guess we can go to South Wadigasui? Midori-cho Park? We're here. This is Midori-cho Park. Ayame Tono lives around here. She wasn't in her apartment when I dropped by this morning. I wonder if it's worth checking again. This place is connected with the story of the Taiko of Sugaru. Not only that, Katsushika Hokusai's home was also in this area. That's the Ukiyo-e guy? That might be why Ayame chose to live here. Oops. A small park bordering South Wadigasui Street, sporting a mixture of cherry and evergreen trees. Although unremarkable in most respects, its small playground always attracts a number of children come evening. While no trace remains in the modern day, it stands on what was once the site of the Sugaru estate. The legendary artist Katsushika Hokusai is also believed to have been born in the vicinity. It seems picking up Ayame's trail is out of the question for now. Why did we even come here? Why indeed? It's always heartwarming to see children playing in the park. Richter seems to like kids, perhaps because they're on the same wavelength. We won't get much done standing around here. Why don't I go and check out Ayame's apartment? You don't mean to speak with her, do you? No, I'd prefer to get an idea of what she's been up to. I'd like to see whether she's been home or not, just to potentially get a trace on her movements. Then, be my guest. Okay, I shouldn't be long. I'm back, ma'am. So, nothing? I'm afraid so. She still hasn't returned. However, I noticed a few people who seem to be related to the police force keeping watch in the area. I don't know if they got eyes on her apartment, but they do appear to be watching the building it's in. Interesting. You've got a sharp eye to have noticed them despite them being so covert. What can I say? It's part of the job. However, it meant I had to refrain from knocking on her door or looking through her windows. I wasn't able to check her electric meter or mailbox either, unfortunately. You were planning to go that far? What a waste of time. We should move on quickly. We won't make much progress sticking around here. Okay, well, I guess South Wadigasui Street then. See the Hihaku Soaps factory? The Hihaku Soaps headquarters are on the other side of the South Wadigasui Street. They were closed when I visited this morning, but it appears things are up and running now. Back in the Edo period, the canal known as South Wadigasui ran through this area, but it's been turned into a major road. It's a bit away from Kinshicho Station or Ryogoku Station, though it's still considered a nice area. The stories of the ever-burning lantern and the foot-washing mansion both took place around here. Actually, I think we have both of these now. Tetsuo Tsutsumi. He managed to get both stones from their respective curse bearer. One of the bodies discovered this morning was found by this road as well. It's quite a lively area, huh? I suppose you could call it somewhat of a city center. So, a warigasui, literally a partitioning ditch, refers to a waterway dug down the middle of a road so as to divide it. At the dawn of the Edo period, the Honjo district was little more than a collection of suburban rice farms. As the area became more developed, the South Warigasui was evacuated in order to drain rainwater into the Yokojikin River to the east. Though it served the people long and faithfully, it was converted into an underground culvert at the beginning of the Showa era. In the present, no trace of it remains on the surface, but the street that bears its name. To think a small soap-making company could grow so much in such a short time. They have factories and warehouses throughout the area now. You can see why director and now chairwoman Natsue Yamamori is called the Queen. Hihaku Soaps. Chemical producer that ranks 4th largest in the domestic detergent market and 7th in the cosmetic market. From humble beginnings, after the war, founded Natsue Yamamori utilized her feminine perspective and a well-timed economic boom to boldly lead the company into new markets. Even as the market grew crowded with the industrialization of Sumida City, the company continued to expand, digging its roots deep into the area in particular. In particular, it established itself as a household name by focusing its branding toward the rapidly expanding convenience store market. Its flagship products now include cosmetics, detergents, soap, shampoo, and more. The company's name Hihaku can also refer to kasuri, a type of pattern fabric. Ooh, I got another achievement. What is that? Honjo's Ace Detective. Collect all information on person of interest. Cool. So, chairwoman Natsue Yamamori. Natsue is the former president of Hihaku Soaps, a large chemical company. She retired 2 years ago. She still wields great influence over the company from her position of chairwoman. Recently, there have been rumors about her possessing strange and powerful magical abilities, earning her the nickname the Witch of Hihaku. Prior to the war, Natsue enjoyed working her dream job at a textile factory. She was forced to face the bitter realities of the world. However, when the factory was destroyed by a fire during the war, and she was ordered to rework the fabric she had painstakingly crafted into something more suitable for blue-collar work. Witnessing the rise in popularity of Western-style clothing in the post-war period, Natsue left the textile industry. However, a nod to her past can be seen in her company's name, with Hihaku being another name for kasuri, a type of fabric featuring patterns and images woven with dyed fibers. Having long been dissatisfied with the soap supplied at the textile factory, Natsue saw a business opportunity and set up her own small soap factory. Taking inspiration from imported soap brands, she developed new products which quickly gained a good reputation. Even the ever-the-shrewd businesswoman, Natsue ran an aggressive promotional campaign on TV featuring a popular Japanese singer, rapidly turning Hihaku Soaps into a household name. You mentioned that Takumi works as her secretary. That's correct. Do you think it's possible he's acting on her orders? That's exactly my thinking. A curse bearer with both money and power could certainly look at the resurrection as their next prize. Negotiating with a person of that stature may prove difficult. He tells me he barely slept last night, and yet he seems to be brimming with energy. Was I too that resilient at his age? Perhaps it's what sets apart a detective from the rest. So an influential person at Hihaku Soaps is potentially a curse bearer? Richter proposed we use money to negotiate for the curse stones, but we could hardly outbid a large corporation if it came down to it. Business is up and running. I can see people inside the reception area. First, I need to confirm whether Takumi is the man I ran into last night. Then I'll be able to determine if he's a curse bearer. It'll be better if I go inside the headquarters alone. You should walk around, visit a cafe for some tea, perhaps. Okay. Think. Yeah, so done talking to him. Hihaku Soaps. Okay. I mean, where's a... what? Hold on. I'm going to go in. I may be a while, so feel to find somewhere to kill time. Okay, good luck in there. Sorry to keep you waiting. How did it go? I'll fast forward to the conclusion. I met with Takumi. There's no doubt he's the same man I saw last night. But it doesn't seem like he's a curse bearer. But that doesn't mean he has no connections to the recent curses. He knew about the 7 mysteries. He even guessed we have a curse stone of our own. Excuse me? I tried to approach Takumi about a fallen item after I ran into him last night, however... You said your name was Richter, correct? I have a favor I'd like to ask of you. I'm hoping you would hand over the curse stone in your possession. Curse stone? What do you want about? There's no need to play dumb with me. In fact, there's no time for it. I had all the same reason you did to think you were a curse bearer last night. And your arrival here only confirms it. You are a curse bearer, no? You're right, we lack time. I'll confess I'm a curse bearer. I possess the curse stone of the haunting clappers. I'm glad to hear the truth. Finally, this conversation is worthwhile. It is a dangerous item you hold. Give it to me. My company will take the responsibility to dispose of it. I didn't know the soap business specialized in scrubbing curses clean. It is the prerogative of the chairwoman. Is that so? Assuming you've obtained the curse, you understand the power it involves, no? Miss Yamamori possesses supernatural powers akin to those of a god. She also has a deep love for this land, having transformed it from the pile of dirt it once was to the home of our headquarters. She cannot stomach the fact that it is now the site of these curses to run rampant. So you're telling me the Queen of Hihaku is a real-life witch? She wouldn't appreciate being called that, mind you. There's a sorcerer by the name of Suigen Gamyoto who's gallantly working behind the scenes exorcising spirits and the like. Go on. That being so, there have already been instances of the dead coming back to life. Do you understand the urgency of this matter? These are curses we're speaking of, tools which are used by wicked beings to possess people. The rite of resurrection is nothing but a fabrication meant to seduce the curse bearers into unspeakable action. If you truly understand what I'm talking about, you must hand over that curse stone at once. Very interesting. With that said, just how many curse stones have you acquired so far? If what you tell me is true, surely the company would have launched a large-scale search by now. We have 6. 6? Whoa, I can rest at ease then. Is that possible? If they have 6, and Tetsuo has 3, We only know of 9. Right? 2 through... One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So technically they could be telling the truth. If they had 6, the detective had 3, and then the 10th one was this one. It could be true. I think it's probably a lie, though. And here I thought I was at risk of being cursed. It seems we are on the same page. If that is the case, you should hand over your curse stone immediately. I'm sorry to disappoint you, but it's not actually in my possession at the moment. Considering its importance, I've been keeping it hidden. Really now. Then I'll accompany you while you retrieve it. I'm sorry, but I've got something important to attend to. But I promise I'll return with it later. Very well. Then you won't refuse to provide your address and telephone number, I presume? How prudent of you. I'll oblige. And that's how it went. So they aren't after the right after all? I wouldn't be so quick to trust him. Oh? I believe we're dealing with a master in deception. He may well have made up a story to convince us to part ways with our stone. I think he was lying about having produced 6 curse stones as well. Like, really? 6? That's excessive. Well, now I feel gullible. The company is plotting something. I wonder what they mean to do with the curse stones. He seemed rather desperate to get a hold of ours, despite us not having collected any soldier eggs. Perhaps the people... Huh. Thought I was hearing something from the game, like some kind of weird background noise. Perhaps the people at Hihaku are the masterminds behind the curses being unleashed. Because the chairwoman's a witch? I wonder about that too. If she really were that powerful, would her secretary have divulged that information so casually? Takumi was either making it up as he went, or he's trying to spread a rumor. For what purpose would he do that? Recently, people have been caught up about the occult more than ever before. If word spreads that Hyaku's chairwoman has godlike powers, she could very well benefit socially and politically from that mystique. That's unsettling. Alright, I'll be right back. I'm gonna get a drink. Alright. Every time I start playing this game, even though I enjoy it, I just keep falling asleep. Need to get some caffeine going. How interesting that the Queen of Hihaku, or the witch, whatever she is trying to get her hands on the rite of resurrection. It's like some kind of dark fairy tale. Regardless of what it is or isn't true, we must stay one step ahead. We should avoid Hihaku for the time being. It'll be a pain if I have to deal with Takumi again. By the way, there's one more thing of interest I heard while in the company's reception lobby. And what's that? People were discussing whether one of the bodies found this morning was that of a Hihaku employee. Really? So long as the officials haven't revealed the identity, it all amounts to no more than speculation, though. Despite that, I've reason to believe Hihaku Soaps is deeply involved with the Seven Mysteries. At the very least, I can assure you, I've gathered that much. The more we know, the better our negotiations will go. In the meantime, we should be off somewhere else. There's no reason to stick around here any longer. Oh, okay. Read that. I guess time to move? Nothing else seems to be happening. So, we've already went to Shiraishi's and Miru. I guess we'll just go back to Komagata High. I wonder if there's something we missed. Surroundings. Oh, we're already like... They all dressed up for school. In another world, I might have had the chance to see my son in uniform too. I feel like I'm missing something. What does this do? Ah. We're here. This is Midoricho Park. Indeed it is, and we've already looked at surroundings. We've already talked everything through. Am I missing something here? I doubt anyone's still living here. Hmm? Oh, so you came here too. What is it? Ah. Could you repeat what you know one more time for me, Richter? Ah, so we met up with our detective people. Oh boy. I was mistaken. It keeps going right. Alright, hold on a second. I want to look something up. Let's see. Paranomasight. Huh. So yeah, I mean it says about 14.5 at the max in. Average is probably about 13. So that's
kind of in line.
I wonder if it's taking me longer because I'm actually sort of reading it out. Like, you know, verbally reading it out loud is takes a little bit longer than reading in your head. Let's see, fancy sushi. Hold on, we're already there. Okay, with dusk fast approaching, they have no time to waste. With that in mind, Tsutsumi and Erio direct their investigation towards Komagata High School and the Shiraishi residence. Let's go to Shiraishi's first. 9 a.m. It seems like Michio's house is at the end of this road. We don't want to intimidate them, so maybe I should go alone? Houses are really crammed together in these narrow alleyways. Strangers like us walking through definitely stand out. It really feels like old Tokyo. It's quiet. This place is normally pretty lively, full of people coming and going. But it seems like everyone's decided to stay inside because of the recent incidents. Hey, I knew. Mockingbird number 6. The illegal eagle. That's pretty good. We got 4 out of 20 so far. Erio is checking the Shiraishi house at the end of the road. The street's real narrow, so 2 big guys like us would stick out like a pair of sore thumbs. Okay. Let's think. So, the Shiraishi household. There's a chance that Michio didn't actually kill herself. It might be for the best that we didn't find her parents. Okay. Alright, I'll go check the house. I meant to actually talk with him, but... Erio's off checking the Shiraishi household. I'll just wait till he gets back. Oh, you're back. No luck, boss. No one's home? Doesn't look like it. I knocked for a while, but nobody came to the door. I glanced in the windows, but there was no sign of activity inside either. And I saw about 3 newspapers stuffed into their mailbox. Erio looks kind of disappointed. Not much we can do if they're not home. Let's go somewhere else for now. We'll go to the high school and then we can go back and maybe we'll run into Harue and Richter. We're here, Komagata High. Classes are suspended for the day, so the students are just kind of wandering around aimlessly. Oh ho! The news of the dead teacher has also attracted a fair share of rubberneckers. The atmosphere is kind of tense with this many cops around. Yoshimi also looked out for these students as a Sumida city officer. Juvenile delinquency has been a growing problem for years now. The school is no exception. The midpoint of the Showa era saw a marked increase in delinquency among young people. A wave of violent incidents targeting teachers as well as students, and often involving weapons, consumed the nation's middle and high schools. Bosozoku motorcycle gangs also enjoyed their heyday around this time. Japanese arrest rates reached a historic peak during this period, and pompadoured Yankees in female sukeban delinquents became a common sight on the streets. This youth rebellion is often framed as a reaction to universal education policy or the pressure of highly competitive entrance exams, but its causes are likely manifold, extending far beyond the deficiencies of the education system. Komagata High's gymnasium also serves as a polling place and evacuation center. A lot of the buildings around here are still made of wood, but this place looks safe and sturdy. Is there something on my shirt? Don't tell me I stink. School gates will stay locked while forensics inspects the scene of the incident. Looks like they're still busy. Let's talk to the person in charge later. Huh? That's... Boss, what is it? You want to talk to those girls? Yeah, I do. This is divine intervention. We were brought here for a reason. Come on, Ayo. Huh? What? I figured that, Tetsuo and Mio would know each other, since he's worked with the Paranormal Investigation Division, or whatever they're called. The branch of the Japanese police that doesn't exist. Hey, aren't you? You must be that high schooler skirting the child labor laws who I've heard so much about. Say that again? That's actually a pretty funny line. Sorry about that. He's with me. Mr. Tsutsumi, if that's how you feel, maybe you should look into improving my working conditions. I prefer not to work for free, to be honest. Don't you worry about that. If you will help us out, you can have whatever you want. Boss's treat. Wait. Really? Thank you so much. I've always wanted to go to a fancy sushi place. Oh, yeah, like one of those places in Ginza. I've never been. Let's go. We got ourselves a deal, right, boss? The girls are at our service. Hold on now. What just happened? I never said I'd... Sushi? Looking forward to it, boss. Wait. Since when were you included? You guys are funny. You should do stand-up. Alright, let's look around for our... So I guess we got the girls in the high school. Huh. The little string marking his body's location really stands out. Sushi, huh? Well, if that'll solve the case, it's a small price to pay. I'll just expense it to the paranormal affairs later. It's usually easier to let Eryo do the talking when it comes to young people, but we only have a day. It'll be quicker if I take the reins this time. But he did manage to win them over with the promise of food. Let's see how this plays out. Forensics is still investigating the area. I didn't really want to bring these kids to a place like this, but there were too many onlookers outside for us to speak comfortably. Besides, it would be good to have Mio look around the scene too. What's that rope all about? Oh, what's that rope all about? It indicates where Jonochi's body was found. They've moved his body, but this way we still have an idea of how it was found. Yikes. That's a little gross. You can even see how his arms and legs are all... Ugh. Cool it, Ariel. You're scaring her. This kind of stuff is a little too much for a kid. Hey, I'm pretty sure she only asked because you were staring at it so intently. Mio Kurosuzu. She's like a disciple of the Paranormal Affairs Chief. I've heard that she helps out with investigations free of charge under the guise of training. Although she's my old boss's protege, she helped me out plenty while I was in the Paranormal Affairs. She may look meek, but she's got a strong spirit sense, sharp instincts and courage, plus quite the brain to back it all up. That said, I can't help but think there's some kind of darkness following her around. She's certainly well versed in the paranormal. I just can't get over the darkness. So this is Yako Sakazaki. She was with Mio. Could she be a friend? Did Mio finally make a friend? If she did, it would do this old man's heart good. But I better not say that out loud. Don't want to make her look bad. So, how much have you been able to figure out? Well, I know what happened around midnight last night. Someone invoked the Feast of Shadows, which boosts the power of curses, then brought forth the 7 mysteries of Honjo. That allows even those who do not have the power to cast curses to gather soul dregs for the rite of resurrection. At least, that's my hypothesis. Sounds about right so far. As I'm sure you know, there are actually 9 mysteries, not 7. When the Feast of Shadows was cast, the curse stones appeared before those who wanted the rite at the locales of the 7 mysteries. We've managed to gather 3 curse stones so far, including the one I got first, the Evergreen Beach. You got 3 already? Wow. We have the curse stone of the Fool's Procession. Well, Yako, the girl standing behind me, does. That's me! Yako, the girl standing behind Mio. She does. Is she alright? We could take it off your hands. Well, the Feast of Shadows has no effect during the day, and there's still something I want to find out. Alright, I'll leave the Fool's Procession with you two then. This sounds like positive music, like we're finding stuff out in the story. Thank you. Please keep collecting the other curse stones. I'll be looking for a way to stop the Feast of Shadows. Okay, got it. That should make things go more smoothly. What about the other curse bearers? Have you run into any of them? Well, last night at school. You were here last night? Yes, you see... Huh. You two were using a spirit board? That's so cool. So that's when you ran into the Curse Echo. I'm glad you survived the encounter. Somehow, we managed to get away without accidentally setting it off. Ran into the Curse Echo, okay. The Curse Echo we saw took the shape of a woman missing an arm and a leg. What? The one-sided reed. The one-sided reed. This is bad. Huh? What's so bad about that one? You idiot. Think. The curse bearer of the one-sided reed is... who was it? Nejima. Fumichika Nejima. Fumichika Nejima. He admitted it himself. That's his curse. Oh, that's right. Wait, but if that's the case... Nejima might have been here last night. What? I mean, it's possible he was lying to us, but... What? Who's Nejima? No clue. Dun, 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 dun. This is one hell of a coincidence, huh? That this random girl you know is already involved with the case? Huh? You want to talk to me? You'd probably be better off asking Mio. So, Nejima is trying to take advantage of the Feast of Shadows for his own nefarious purposes. Huh? He said he's going to massacre the city at sundown today. And he's trying to get your daughter too? That's why we've been trying to find him, but to no avail. Honestly, this information has been most useful we've gotten so far. Has been the most useful. But just to be sure, could you tell me who else was at the school last night? Well, as far as we know, there was us, Mr. Jonochi, and one of our classmates, Hitomi. Don't forget old man Ashimiya. Wait, Hitomi. Do you mean Hitomi Okuda, second-year student? Well, yes, why? Boss! So she was here last night. I saw Hitomi earlier, though, and she didn't seem like a curse bearer to me. You did? Did you talk to her? Yes. Would you mind if we asked you a few questions about that? Hitomi said she didn't want to talk to the police because she was afraid she'd become a suspect. So I can't tell you anything unless you swear you won't drag her into this. Ah, I see. Don't worry, this is about a different matter. A different matter? You mean about the police officer, Mr. Yoshimi? You know about that? Did Hitomi say anything about him? Yes, she did actually. Still about the sushi, huh? Let's keep going. If we're talking about people who were at school last night, there was one more person, though I'm not too clear on the details. There was someone else? Apparently, Hitomi actually saw Mr. Jonochi getting cursed and killed last night. What? Talk about some vital information. What she said happened was... Michio was the one who killed Mr. Jonochi? Are you sure it was really Michio that she saw? Well, that's what she told me. I wasn't there. That must mean there was another curse bearer here last night. Jonochi was killed by a curse, so someone had to have been there, whether it was Michio or not. Damn, boss, do you really think it could have been Michio's ghost? I mean, based on what we heard, she does have plenty of reasons to be vengeful. Calm down. Just because the paranormal exists doesn't mean just anything is possible. It's still possible that Nejima was behind Jonochi's death. But what about Hitomi's story? I mean, Nejima could have 2 curse stones. About this janitor, Ashimiya, was it? How old is he? Do you know how long he's worked here? Huh? Why are you so interested in him all of a sudden? I only just transferred to this school, though, so I have no idea. He's around 50 years old. He came to our school about half a year ago. No one knows what he did before, so there are all kinds of rumors about him. I see. Thanks. I think I'm starting to get a better picture of all this. Huh? Listen up. It's not uncommon for former prisoners to find work under an alias after their release. The notoriety attached to their former name can get in the way of proper rehabilitation, you see. What are you... No way! Erio, have the officers apprehend the janitor. He worked the night shift, so he might still be in the overnight room. Yes, right away. Boss, bad news. Apparently the room's been empty all morning. Sounds like they'd been looking to question Ashimiya too, but couldn't find him anywhere. Oh. That all but confirms it. Just one more thing to check. Are there any photos of this Ashimiya? The old man seriously hated getting his pictures taken. He'd always avoid it. Ario, call an urgent search for Makoto Ashimiya. We can't let him get away. Yes, sir. I'll contact HQ right away. Well, now the music's less promising and more ominous. So Ashimiya was definitely seems to be Nejima. Jonochi was almost definitely killed by a curse, but I wonder about the exact cause of death. If the curse's origin and the cause of death are connected, it could give us another lead. What was that thing you mentioned about Michio earlier? Something about a grudge? Did you know anything about her? What's your relation? I'm her friend. I was actually planning to resurrect her at first. Ah, I see. We gained quite a lot of information from you two. It's only fair we share as well. Tell her, Ario. Alright. Keep in mind that this is just a theory, though. Okay. After re-examining the crime scene, Yoshimi concluded that Michio's death wasn't a suicide, but a vehicular collision. Wait, what, an accident? Being hit by a speeding truck or van would have resulted in similar injuries. The investigation was ordered by Yoshimi, so it seems he had his doubts about it being a suicide. What? A van? Speeding? Yako, what's wrong? Are you okay? What is this? Are we seeing a flashback? A van. There's a young man in the driver's seat. Wait. In the passenger's seat, a woman? Huh? Yes? Wait, did I miss something? Yako. Are you back now? How do you feel? You're covered in sweat. Yeah, I'm okay, I think. Sorry, I went a little crazy there. It's no problem, as long as you're okay. That was quite the surprise, though. Yoshimi talked to you about Michio, didn't he? Well, he didn't give any specifics if you're wondering about that, so I don't know what was truly on Michio's mind either. Right. Do you have any idea why Jonochi was so scared of Michio? Well, about that, I'm not sure exactly how to put this, but... I see. Well, I half expected it was something like that. Thank you for telling me. I'm sorry, it's hard to explain. I wonder what he got his hands on to be able to blackmail her like that. Michio, what happened? Okay, so we're done with Yako, it looks like. So let's continue with Mio. Oh my, I didn't expect this at all. Yeah, how could that old man have been some horrible criminal mastermind? I can't believe it. And a curse bearer on top of that. To think he was so close to us this whole time. Ugh, gives me chills. A guy like that really shouldn't have been allowed to work at a high school. Let's hope it isn't already too late. Oh. I may have shown Ashimiya my curse stone last night. What? I don't like this one bit. Nejima did say he wasn't specifically targeting curse bearers, but I'm glad nothing happened to you. Wait, but then could it have been old man Ashimiya who attacked you in the hallway? Ah, I almost told him that you were still in the building too. What? You did? Yikes, good thing I didn't say anything. Yeah, I mean, we've actually seen what happens to her. That was actually really pretty tragic looking. You might have gotten very lucky there, kid. This is too much. I hope they find him soon. Come on, long arm of the law, help us. To put a stop to the Feast of Shadows, it would help if I knew more about the curses of these seven mysteries first. Knew more about how the curses of these seven mysteries first came about. In that case, you're probably best off talking to that crabby researcher guy. You mean Mr. Raishi? I would very much like to talk to him. Ah, right, he's a teacher here too, isn't he? You would know him already. He might be more inclined to talk if it's one of his students doing the asking. Do you know where he is? I do. We tried to talk to him, but he refused to cooperate. But you two should give it a try. He's at his usual cafe working on his papers. The cafe? Oh, Kurokikyo Cafe in Kamizawa? Thanks. We'll head over there now. School rules say we're not allowed to go to cafes, though. Don't worry about it. I'll allow it. It's hard to reconcile Yako, who wanted to, like, bring her friend back and thought about killing people, with one who's like, but we can't go to cafes. Thank you. Huh? That's all it takes? There must be a mastermind behind everything. Someone who orchestrated all this for a reason. I want to find out why. Hitomi did say that Mr. Yoshimi entrusted her with something. He did? What was it? Yoshimi gave her a talisman? Yes, apparently he also asked her to look for another one just like it. One that Michio had. What kind of talismans could they be? Boss? Doesn't ring a bell. But if Yoshimi was talking about him with his dying breath, they must have been pretty important. Did they find a talisman on Michio where her body was found? I'll check, but if they did, Yoshimi would have had plenty of time to retrieve it before he died. Right. Would you consider giving us Hitomi's contact info? I'd like to talk to her about this talisman. I'm not sure. She never opened up to anyone except Mr. Yoshimi. I'm no good, huh? I was friends with Yoshimi, though. You don't seem like too bad of a guy. Not all that scary for a cop. But I doubt that'll be enough for her. She really doesn't want to end up becoming a suspect. To be honest, she was even a bit wary of us. Well, then... Do you think she'd talk to Yoshimi's fiancé? Haven't they met before? Oh, they have. She told us about that. Yes, she might be willing to talk to her. Alright then, we better find her fast. You haven't been able to reach her? It's a little worrying. Oh. Mayu Chozawa. We'll let you know as soon as we manage to contact her. Okay, I'd be willing to give Hitomi's contact information to her. Oh right. One more thing, Hitomi told me that Mr. Yoshimi gave her instructions in the event that something happened to him. He told her to give the talisman to Mr. Nakagoshi from the police headquarters. What? So it was a Nakagoshi case. Why would Yoshimi tell her that? Could you check on that? I will, but... Well, I don't know if they'll pick up when I call. Is he with the Paranormal Affairs Bureau? Well, yes. Nakagoshi's the chief, but he's almost never in, so I don't really know the guy. To be honest, I'm not even sure if he exists or if he's just a figurehead. I've never spoken to him myself. All of Paranormal Affairs cases are referred to as Nakagoshi cases. Jeez, what's up with that? That amulet Hitomi was looking for may be the missing puzzle piece to this mystery. Alright. Okay. I think we're basically done. Jonochi was almost definitely killed by a curse, but I wonder about the exact cause of death. If the curse's origin and the cause of death are connected, it could give us another lead. Alright, that's enough. Mio, what do you think? I knew it the second I looked at the scene. You're right, traces of a curse still linger here. I figured as much. Does that mean Jonochi was killed by one of the curses of the Seven Mysteries? Yes, a strong curse like that always leaves behind a trace. Wow, Mio, you're so calm. Are you used to this kind of thing? I wouldn't say I'm used to it. It just comes with experience, I guess. No? I've heard some stories about you. Didn't you investigate a gruesome scene where someone had been killed by a paranormal attack without even breaking a sweat? Stop it, Mr. Tsutsumi. She's going to get the wrong idea. Whoa, that's amazing. Mio, you're a professional. You think? Totally, you're cool, even in the face of death. That's awesome. When you put it like that, I'm not sure how awesome it is. Hey boss, Forensics is calling. I'll go see what they have to say. Sure, thanks. Boss, they found this on the ground, a short distance away from the scene. What is that? A ribbon? Yeah, the kind you used to tie up your hair. What? I've seen that ribbon before. You have? Go on then. That's the ribbon Michio used to wear. What? Doesn't that mean Michio was here? Are you sure? Definitely, I have the same one at home. We bought them together. That has to be hers. Then, did she come back to life somehow? But how? It was Michio and if I was Michio and I came back to life, where would I go? That's the question. Well, that's the question. She got her revenge on Jonochi, but she may have more revenge to dish out. Is there anyone else she'd have a grudge against? And I mean, who would want to bring her, assuming she died, who would bring her back to life? Is there anyone else she'd have a grudge against? Well, what about the guy who killed her in the collision? She really did come back to life. Then it's terribly sad that she's spending her new chance at life like this. Being obsessed with revenge is such a tragic way to live. I'm afraid that's all we can tell you. Don't worry, you were a big help. Thank you. We should start our search for Nejima and Mayu Chizawa. It might be worth it to check Michio's house as well, just in case. So, the detectives need to look for Chizawa so that they can talk to Hitomi and potentially get the talisman. They also need to look for Nejima. That's on their plate. Mio and Yako could look for Michio. I think they also had something else. Let's use the school as our base of operations. If anything happens, go to one of the officers hanging around here. Got it. Thank you. Good luck. We'll go talk to Mr. Araishi about a way to lift the curse. Ah, that's right, Mr. Araishi. So we could do that and look for Michio. Let me write this down, actually. So, Mio and Yako are looking for Araishi, Lift Curse, and also Michio. Back to life. And detectives, they are oh yeah, Nejima, and find the Mayu Chozawa, which is for Hitomi, and the talisman. So, we're thinking that stopping Nejima is most important since he wants to kill the most people, but the talisman might be related to stopping the Feast of Shadows or something along those lines, maybe. Okay. All right, boss. Let's get going whenever you're ready. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun. We'll leave the curse lifting to the girls while we go looking for Nejima and Chozawa. Oh, because Araishi was the curse lifting. There's also the matter of Yoshimi's talisman. But we won't get anything done staying here. We better get a move on. Okay. Nice, nice. Oh, okay, so we're back on Harue's route, and we've got to see Seimon, dead or alive. Okay. Dead or alive it is. Harue and Richter visit Michio's home. Well, I thought the girls were going to do that, but okay. Having determined her to be a key player in the unresolved kidnapping case from a year before, as the complicated story begins to unravel, they encounter two men. Oh, right. So this is from their perspective. I forgot. I thought the detectives were leaving Michio to the girls, but obviously Harue met them, the detectives, here. So, let's see then. Near the Shiraishi household. Ma'am, allow me to introduce one of our country's most elite detectives. My name's Jun Eryo. I'd hardly call myself elite, but either way, it's nice to meet you. This here is the brilliant Chief Inspector Tsutsumi, and yes, he's just as rough and tumble as he looks. Sometimes I really don't know if you're complimenting or putting me down. So you two are detectives. This is my client, Miss Harue Shigema. Her father's a big deal in the police himself, so remember to mind your manners. Bigwig named Shigema. Boss, you know of this guy? Shit, I've heard the name. But you know I don't keep track of who's who in the upper echelons. There's no need to worry. I am my own person after all, and my father has nothing to do with any of this. Oh, did you hear that, boss? Looks like you're getting off easy again this time. Don't make it sound like I'm involved in some shady business. It ain't like that. You both seem rather jovial despite being detectives. How rare. All the police officers I've met have always been so dull. Well, you won't find any dull cops here. We'll round up all your criminals with a smile. That's our motto. How lovely. Keep it up. Just hold on one second. This is the first time I'm hearing of that. Well, you're right about them not being your typical detectives. Thought we might cause trouble standing in the middle of the street talking like this, but so far we haven't drawn attention. Then again, that might just be because nobody wants to get involved with the case. Hey. Damn, there was one here too? Lucky, that's number 12, the Royal Kingpin Green. Oh, that's Mockingbird number 12. It seems they were acquainted, but also like they haven't talked in a long time. Alright, looks pretty good. Seems like he's got a lot of experience working the streets. Most of the officers I know are the bureaucratic disc jockey types. The contrast is rather striking. A young and energetic detective. He seems to have a strong sense of justice. If my son had the chance to grow older, perhaps he would have become an officer just like him. So I think that's everything. We just have to talk now. I guess knowing how to deal with cops is also part of an investigator's job. Not quite. The two of us used to be comrades is all. Comrades? That's right. Richter used to be part of the police force himself. He quit a few years ago to go solo. Is that so? You should give it a try, Edio. There's more freedom in working as a private investigator. I can't say much for the quality of life, though. It's been 2 years, right? I hadn't heard of you since you quit. I didn't think your business would last, but here you are. You sure you don't want to return to the force? We take you back with open arms. What, to sit on my ass and watch the birds fly? I'll take a pass. I don't belong in that world. Come on, Richter. We need your talent. The public needs you. Nah, you don't. This is my calling. Police will manage just fine without me. I'll keep on tying up all your loose ends, saving the little birdies you abandoned. I can't believe you were actually part of the police force once. There's a story behind everything, ma'am. I don't regret my time on the force. I wouldn't have had the connections I have today without it. By the way, ma'am, this might be sudden, but there's something I'd like to confirm with you. And that is? Do you happen to know anything about the 7 mysteries of Honjo? Sorry, Chief, but that's hardly... With all due respect, investigator, I think my question was addressed to the lady. If you insist. What do you say, ma'am? Can you tell us anything? Well. So we don't have the option to just tell them. Can't say I know much. Is that so? Well, I'm sorry for the intrusion. That was a close one, though. I hope they're not onto us. Huh. So if either way, it was going to be, I don't know much. Come to think of it, I heard some things about this area last night. Something about a strange yet conspicuous man dressed in white loitering around. Wait a second. I assume they were talking about you, investigator. Well, I won't argue that I'm strange and conspicuously dressed in white. And as it turns out, I was out here last night to conduct my investigation. Did you run into anything strange or out of the ordinary? Out of the ordinary, I guess I did observe a few suspicious characters. You were asking about curses just now. Why would a public servant be interested in the occult? Boss, Richter's a smart man. He can help us if we tell him what we know. I can't promise I'll be of any help to you, but I'm interested in hearing what you got to say. Something is happening in Honjo, isn't there? It must be something big if they've got you head office guys on it. Well, I guess it's alright. Desperate times call for desperate measures. Thank you, boss. Listen closely to what we're about to say, Richter. Huh. So by using curses to commit murders, these people collect soul dregs to perform the rite of resurrection? And these curse stones are somehow connected to the 7 mysteries of Honjo. It's a tough story to swallow, but I don't see a reason to doubt you either. We figured the strange occurrences happening around here recently are connected to these curses. To get this situation under control, we've been searching for the curse bearers to confiscate their curse stones. Do you have any information that might help us? That's tough. I never expected curses and other mumbo-jumbo to play into this all. But if we're talking shady characters, there was this middle-aged fellow I saw on South Wadigasui Street. He had an average build. He was anxious, like he was searching for prey. Boss, what do you think? Well, considering the location, it could have been Hideki Araishi. We already got his curse stone. Impressive. You two are working quick. Did you see anything else? Not that I can remember. That's a shame. So there's less cooperation between Harue's group and Tetsuo's group than there was between the schoolgirls and the police officers, which, I mean, to be fair, I guess that makes sense. Richter's amazing. He coaxed out so much information we didn't know about the curse bearers from them. There's no way we could cooperate with him when we're trying to get our hands on the right ourselves. If you see any characters who look like they might be carrying a curse stone, it'd be a huge help if you let us know. Absolutely. I'll let you know if I find anything. Richter, perhaps you could lend a hand on our case too. There's a number of people we can't track, and finding missing persons happens to be your specialty now. I hate to disappoint you, but I'm busy enough with this case. The faith of my clients is what keeps me afloat. I have to prioritize requests by the order in which they come. I see. Well, can't say that's not fair. What do you need a private investigator for anyway? Cops should have plenty of bright folks to throw at the job. True, but this isn't an ordinary case we're dealing with here. I feel like we're gonna get to the... Like, there is overlap here. Okay, here we go. So here's probably the overlap. What brings you here, Richter? You want a case? That's right, I'm picking up the police's slack. I trust you remember the kidnapping and murder case from last year. Oh, I remember now. You're that Harue Shigema from the kidnapping case. Huh? Did I miss something? Don't be an idiot. It was the case where Munesada Shigema's grandson was kidnapped. Which must have been your son, ma'am. Indeed, the story was suppressed by the news. In the end, it was considered a huge failure on the police department's part. Most of the investigation was conducted in secret, and unfortunately, the department is unwilling to reopen the case. Any investigation carried out afterwards turned up nothing at all, which is why I'm now on the job. So they never caught the culprit, huh? That's rough. So your findings have brought you to this place, then? That's right. An individual connected to the case used to live around here. Used to? That's right. As of last week, they're deceased. We'd hoped to talk to the family. No one was home when I checked last time, so we figured we'd try again. Interesting. Huh? By the way, that reminds me, Richter. Yes? You said the person used to live here, died last week. You wouldn't be referring to Michio Shiraishi by chance. You knew? I thought so. It seems like we're here for the same reason then. Seriously? Michio was involved with curses and magic? Strictly speaking, the curse part isn't our concern. We're looking into Yoshimi's case. Yoshimi? Oh right, Hajime Yoshimi's. That's right, he died on the job. I'm sure you've heard of him. I heard. It was a most unfortunate loss. So there's a connection between Hajime Yoshimi of the Juvenile Division and Michio? Well, hold on. Let's focus on Michio for a second. You think she had something to do with the kidnapping? Talk about unforeseen developments. Exchanging information should prove mutually beneficial. I'll tell you what I know, but in turn, I want the full scoop on your findings concerning Michio. Sure, to tell you the truth. What? You believe Michio's ghost is the one who killed Mr. Jonochi? So he wasn't just mumbling nonsense? I mean, we haven't fully confirmed anything yet. But the testimonies we've heard and the evidence we've found point in that direction. Testimony? You mean from those, psychic high schoolers? Didn't they also say there was a chance Michio hadn't killed herself? Wait, if that's just all true then... Did you figure something out? Kankichiro Iwai. Huh? Ah, yeah, that's right. She would want revenge on her, common law stepfather, I guess, is the designation he would have. Huh. Look at the picture of Harue. Huh? Kankichiro Iwai. He'll be the next victim. We have to open the door to the Shiraishi's house. We need to look inside. Hey, what's gotten into you? Boss. I'm sure the landlord would give us the key if we asked. Screw that. You know how long that could take. We can ask for permission later. Richter. Hey, Richter, calm down. We can't just... Take that, you shitty door. That's how you do it. Richter, get a hold of yourself. I see you're still the same as always. Everyone, come quick. Look at this. Uh-oh. Oh, man. Ah. She always looks just tired. I guess she's definitely stressed since the death of her son. Whoa, what's up with this room? Boss, there's a dead body in here. Huh? Could that be Michio's dad? Nah, he's her stepdad at best, if that. It's got to be the body of Kankichiro Iwai. There's no doubt about it, this man's a goner. He's gotten real messed up. Looks like he's been like this for a while. I'd say it happened last night. Erio, did you find Jonochi's body in the same state? Now that you mention it, it looked as though Kohei Jonochi had died from a number of heavy blows. Oh, I bet this is the Taiko of Suguru. Maybe like a beating drum, sort of like it hits him or something. Like a sound wave and does like almost a kinetic damage to them. What are you suggesting, investigator? It was Michio Shiraishi. She's alive. She used the power of the curses to get back at the men who ruined her life. That's ridiculous. You're suggesting she actually revived? It's gotta be that. And if she's alive, then... Oh. My apologies for interrupting. I know we've just arrived at an interesting plot point. But do you really think a dead girl is going around taking revenge from beyond the grave? Consider this. What if Michio Shiraishi never died? But seeing as you've come this far, I'm sure you already know the truth, don't you? And so, I would have you answer me a question. Where in Honjo was Michio Shiraishi at the hour of 8 o'clock this morning? What? Am I supposed to know this? Hold on. 8 o'clock this morning. So... I mean, do we even have Shigema Residence, Kinshibori Park? Okay, I mean, I don't know that we have any reason to believe she would be at any of these locations in particular. Maybe the Shiraishi household? She wouldn't be at the school. That would have been already police there investigating the body, probably. I don't think she would be at the Sino candy shop. That's, what's her name's house? Yako's. Do we have very much from... no. Former Yasta Gardens. We don't have any reason to think she would be there. Honoji Bridge. The only thing I can think is maybe she killed the, maybe she killed her stepfather here this morning? At 8 o'clock this morning? Yeah, I see. So that's what you think. Let's take a moment to reconsider what you know and choose again, shall we? What? Well, what? What do I know? Hold on. Okay, so it wasn't Shiraishi's house. It wasn't Komagata High. Michio Shiraishi. Michio Shiraishi. Yoko Fukunaga. So I think there's really nothing with Yoko here. Okay, so not Michio's house. No, certainly not Komagata High School. I think, because the girls were there. A lot of people were there at 8 this morning. I don't think she would have been there. Komagata Bridge, candy shop. Like, I don't know that there's really any place that stands out. Not Shigema Residence. Maybe Kinshibori Park? Let's take a moment to reconsider. I mean, is there some files? Dun 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 dun. Okay, so not Kinshibori, not Michio's house. I wish I could see the timeline, the whatchamacallit. the story chart. 8 o'clock this morning. I mean, I guess I could just wildly guess. Oh. Wait, isn't that Yako's house? You are correct. You got it wrong 2 times. Well, it's a trivial matter. It may have been easier to reach that conclusion had you considered the cause of death. It may have been easier to reach that conclusion had you considered the cause of death. Hold on, what? Where in Honjo was Michio Shiraishi at the hour of 8 o'clock this morning? So maybe Michio has like taken over Yako's body, right? Like she's I know they had a talk between like Mio and Yako, and maybe it was just Mio and Yako. They were talking about like different ways that you can be possessed or something. And then this morning you had Yako was very tired, even though she thought she went to sleep fairly early or something like that. So maybe the curse that's happening is the Fool's Procession curse, and not the haunting, the Taiko of Suguru, which I thought maybe is what Michio was using. Kills by fatal fall one who hears its music for 30 seconds without seeing the curse bearer. Interesting. So that makes sense, because we've also got another sort of impact kill, just like the foot washing mansion. Kills by crushing, kills by a fatal fall. And so car crash looks just like a fall. Okay. So I do wonder if Michio in Yako's body has to stay hidden, or if because people can't see like the spirit of Michio in Yako's body, if it doesn't matter if they see her or not. Regardless, I don't think it's Yako herself killing people. But yeah, that makes sense. What? So you really think Michio Shiraishi is alive? Just think it through and it all becomes obvious. It tracks, but do you really think that girl could have managed all of this? First of all, Edio, go report this to HQ. Understood. I'll get on it right away. I think Richter's jumping the gun here, though. I don't think Michio is alive. If she was alive, though, that means that she would be with, she would be in Yako's body, or, yeah, pretty much in Yako's body, I guess. Or no, Yako would know she is alive and sort of aiding and abetting her. I'll start investigating this place. It sure isn't lacking in stuff that needs looking at. There's a bunch of photos of the same person pasted on the wall over there. Huh? Whoa, now, hold on. These photos. These are all Fumichika Nejima. Gross. Really? Come to think of it, he was in the papers a lot back in the day. Oh, there's even more pasted up over here. These are all cutouts from newspapers and magazines about the Nejima murders. I don't get it. Why the weirdo shrine? Let's keep looking around. Okay, so we're limited to just this window here. There's nothing around to confirm his identity, but by the looks of him, I'd say he's Kankichiro Iwai. You've seen him before? I already had a criminal record, so I assumed he wouldn't have held a respectable occupation. Is this what a curse does to a person? Ma'am, it'd be better not to look so closely. It's amazing. This place is disgusting. Did Michio Shiraishi really live here? Cruel is what it is. Oh my goodness, there's so much to look at. It's off-putting to look at, but I can't help but wonder what in the world this is. They're magic runes. They're used in Western black magic rituals. Most of the time, they're useless imitations, though I wouldn't get too excited about it. Oh my. Who knew the chief inspector was such an expert on the occult? I just chanced upon that information. That girl with the spirit sense we mentioned, she's pretty informed on the subject. Someone was attempting to perform Western black magic in this place. Pretty absurd if you ask me. Of course, the person in question was dead serious about it all. While magic is often classed as a branch of mysticism or may variously refer to the likes of witchcraft or astrology, here it refers specifically to Western black magic. In the Middle Ages, the line between science and magic was blurred, with the pursuit of the supernatural considered a legitimate academic discipline. Astrology was regarded akin to astronomy, while alchemy was accepted as scientific fact and would eventually evolve into what is known today as chemistry. One discipline, however, was considered wicked and shunned accordingly: black magic, the practice of using magical knowledge to strike a bargain with demons. In contrast to the socially acceptable subject studied by the intelligentsia, black magic was most prolific among lower classes. It was the common people who suffered most from the ills of the day: war, famine, and sickness, which perhaps led them to seek aid from unholy powers. As heresy, these rituals and spells were nowhere to be found in orthodox modes of teaching, but instead were recorded in tomes of dubious credibility. It looks like the things spread around here have been like this for a while now. This ritual, or whatever, was something he attempted to put up to recently. Plenty of the neighbors mentioned having heard strange mantra-like noises coming from here during the night. You think Iwai was the one chanting? Hard to say. Could have been one of the Shiraishis as well. Hold on, I'll be right back. Alright. Hmm. Hard to say. Could have been one of the Shiraishis as well. We look through these books in the back, we might learn whatever it is they were trying to do. There's candles and stones with inscriptions placed all over. Are these tools for some ritual? Hey, don't touch anything, you hear? Ah, that's right. Considering this is a murder scene, we ought to leave everything as it is. All of this can be used as evidence. If anyone besides forensics toys with it, it'll cause trouble down the road. Old books. There are old books scattered everywhere. I wonder what they're about. Many of them are written in a foreign language. It'll be a pain to look through all of these. Let's save them for later and continue to look around. Old books, old books. Okay. The sliding door leads to the kitchen. It barely fits the frame. Look at these, pictures of Fumichika Nejima cut out from the newspaper and magazines. Whoever put these up was obsessed. I wonder what their intent was. You think the Shiraishis are somehow connected to Nejima's case? Perhaps they did this as to not forget a grudge or something. It's crazy to think Nejima might be involved in all this too. Do you think he might have anything to do with the body here? Maybe. The man's already out on parole. He's a curse bearer with a cursed stone now. He announced that from sundown today he'll be going on a killing spree. Oh dear. There's an emergency search underway as we speak, but no one's yet managed to get a hold of the bastard. So he hasn't changed his ways? That doesn't bode well. To tell you the truth, the lady here isn't completely unconnected from the Nejima murders either. You don't say. That's right, we talked about it last night. 20 years ago, I found the hand in Sumida River that brought the incident to light. You don't say. You were the kid from back then. You were really brave. You did a great deed. Were you the detective I spoke with? I had no idea. So you two have met before. Fancy that. I've been worried about Fumichika Nejima might bear resentment towards you, ma'am. You might be right. Unfortunately, that asshole was quite the resentful type. Oh dear. That asshole. I wonder who put the idea into his head, and now he's got the one-sided read too. He's threatening to massacre the people of Honjo at sundown. Seriously? On top of that, he's been itching to get revenge on me as well. Of all things, the man gone and threatened to kill my daughter. Damn, that's quite the threat. Certainly you can't afford to stay put here. He wants to get us all antsy. When I finally get to arresting him, it'll be with a cool head. Not gonna give him the pleasure, huh? Well, if Iwai and Fumichika Nejima have anything to do with each other, then this room might hold a clue to Nejima's location. Let's hope so. So lots of old books, Nejima's cutouts, Nejima's newspaper cutouts, Nejima's picture, window. With the window and storm shutter closed, no light gets in here at all. It's pitch black. The neighbors mentioned they started to keep the house shut like this not long ago. The person who put all these photos up must have been obsessed with Nejima. They might have had some relation to Nejima's victims, or perhaps it was the opposite. The opposite? What if it wasn't loathing, but admiration? But then... It's the same man in every picture. Is that Fumichika Nejima? Wow, this is quite the spectacle. I don't think I'll ever manage to erase this from my mind. Don't worry, Richter. You're quite the spectacle yourself. Do you mean to compare me with the likes of a bizarre criminal? These aren't just cut from publications. They even snapped a number of shots of their own. They must have admired him. Why else would they have collected so many pictures? Whatever the case, it's certain they were obsessed. Hmm. I think the last relevant thing is the drawer. This drawer really is old. Chief Inspector, do you mind if I look inside? Huh? I mean, in normal cases, only the police would be allowed to touch things, right? Right. Hideo isn't here, so let me take a look at it. There's just clothes in here. Not much variety either. Can't say they were big spenders. Well, I was hoping to find a kind of talisman here, but I guess we're not so lucky. I see. Thank you anyway. I'm missing something? Sliding door, newspaper cutouts, Nejima, the old books. What do you say, Chief? Would you let me look through it if I wore gloves? Well, it's not like I'm any help with foreign languages. Go ahead. Thank you. Huh. This seems to be a book on Western black magic. The same runes are written here, alongside detailed descriptions of the procedures. I suppose you'd call them grimoires. It's all a bunch of nonsense if you ask me, though. Do you think this Iwai guy was studying them? Perhaps to perform some kind of ritual? There are a bunch of handwritten notes beside the grimoires. Whoever it was, they were serious about this. Iwai doesn't look the type to be into this stuff, but you shouldn't judge a book by its cover. But why would he be studying black magic? According to the materials, this here rune is for the restoration of youth. Perhaps he was trying to become young again. This over here seems to be black magic related to resurrection. Each of these spells requires a human sacrifice. Talk about dangerous. Resurrection, like the rite? I guess no matter what part of the world, people will turn to the occult for similar reasons. What is it? This book looks like a journal. It's probably Iwai's. A journal. His writing is surprisingly thorough. It's almost as if he was writing a report for someone. Oh wow, now this is something. What is it? What did he write? This is quite the find. Let me give you a summary. So this Konkichiro, Iwai fellow, he'd been searching for a spell to restore youth for years. So he was into black magic from the start? He believed if he could learn to successfully perform the spell, he could then use it to earn a fortune. To tell you the truth, it seems he was already getting funded after he acquired this grimoire. You don't say. This is starting to sound kind of familiar. But first, let's find out how he got his hands on this grimoire. It seems that Nejima told him where he could obtain the book when they were both in prison. What? That's nearly too much of a coincidence. Likely not coincidence, it seems like Iwai took an interest in the Nejima murders after it made the news. He admired him rather passionately. You might even say he worshipped the man. Worship? Nejima of all people. This was a time when students were itching to rebel. Anyone who did something to shake the world was bound to gather admirers. Iwai had been collecting these photos ever since that time. And since he just so happened to land in prison at the same time as Nejima, he made sure to get in contact. This is a lot. I mean, even having it all laid out like this, the thought of Nejima being involved with these grimoires is staggering. I don't think we ever had anything pointing to that. What's the connection? To be honest, it's a shock to me too. For years, we've been scratching over our heads over the motives behind the Nejima murders. Yep, it's been a mystery to us all from the very start. Whoa now, wait just 1 minute. Do you think... No way, are you saying... Wait, what are we saying? Maybe I'm just not very good with mysteries. What's the connection? That's right. The murders might have been for a ritual. He was attempting to perform black magic. The instructions written down for the sacrifice offering a matchup sacrificial offering match up exactly with the acts carried out by Nejima. You've got to be kidding me. So that sadistic crap he was doing was all for black magic? That's what the evidence suggests. However, Nejima tried to do some type of resurrection ritual, but Iwai had different motives. Chief Inspector, you might think this is all the stuff of fantasy, but that doesn't refute that Nejima and Iwai were both acting in earnest. This is batshit insane. You're telling me that Nutjob did this all for some hokey-pokey resurrection? Shit, resurrection. That means there must have been someone Nejima wanted to bring back to life. Damn, that's it. That has to be it. Hell, it all makes sense now. What is it? So about the Nejima murders. There's some information that's been kept from the public. Go on. When we broke into his house and arrested him, we also found a baby. Baby? It was a girl. Looked to be about 6 months old, but she was covered in filth. She looked so weak and sickly. We called the medics right away. If we were a second later, I'm sure the girl would have died. So, was Nejima the father? He told us he'd found her under a bridge. He found her? She was abandoned? I've heard of parents threatening to leave their child under a bridge as a threat, but to think it really happens. I suppose there are those cases with the dead newborns found stuffed in coin lockers, so it's not without precedent. Whatever the case, we never found out the truth. But there's one rumor for back then that I could never get out of my mind, and it's starting to sound more likely now. Well, I'm sure this isn't the first time you've heard of it. Many believe Nejim is guilty of more crimes than what got him convicted. Back then, a lot of girls went missing. Yeah, I remember all of that. Among the high school girls that might have been murdered, or maybe I should say sacrificed, was a girl who was pregnant. Goodness. That's horrific. He killed her and dismembered her body. And we thought maybe the baby we found is what he pulled out from inside of her. Jesus Christ. Don't misunderstand me. This is all speculation on top of more speculation here. But I, for one, never believed that man would just take in a baby he found under a bridge. I'm feeling sick. Stay strong, ma'am. I know this is hard to hear. Like I said, don't take that to be the full truth. We were running on speculation back then. Now that this whole resurrection magic has come into play, we should consider the possibility it was his child, and that maybe he was trying to revive whoever the mother might have been. It's just a theory, but my life would be a tad easier if it were true. That's an interesting thought. If there's anyone Nejima would want to resurrect, a deceased wife is as good as a guess as any. The fact that he obtained a curse stone suggests he has an interest in the rite of resurrection. Damn, you're right. And here I was thinking that he was only after the curse's power to massacre. Chief Inspector. Yeah? What happened to the child? Without a birth registration on file, best we could do was find the girl some suitable foster parents. It was decided to keep the circumstances secret for the sake of the child's future. Well, I'm glad she was taken care of. Well. The only people... Yoko could be the right age. Mayu, maybe? I don't think anyone else. These girls are too young. I think everyone who's in high school right now is too young. Oh, Ayame Tono. So... Alright, so it could be Ayame Tono, perhaps Mayu Chozawa, or Yoko. I think the most likely ones are... I think the most likely ones are Yoko and Ayame Tono. We still have old books to read. Seems like it. Oops. Don't mean to derail the conversation, but there's still more written in EY's journal. One moment. Let's go ahead and take a break here. Oh, hold on. Okay. We're going to try and get through this chapter, I think. And then we'll take a little break. We know EY had managed to obtain the grimoire thanks to the advice he got from his idol, Nejima, while in prison. After conducting research and gathering more information, he determined he had a chance to get rich quick. Right, he thought he could make some money if he could successfully use rejuvenation magic. Correct. Turns out someone gave him the idea. And get this. I knew it was her. It was the one and only queen and chairwoman of Hihaku Soaps herself, Natsue Yamamori. Wait, the chairwoman of Hihaku Soaps? So that's where this leads. Here, let me read what he wrote. The queen of Hihaku has a strange fear of growing old. Her fear of death is even worse. If she does die, she wishes to be revived, and she will spend whatever it takes to preserve her beauty. Magic, rituals, and rites, she'll use whatever means necessary. Her tenacity is unbelievable. She was apparently investing money into any research on resurrection, the restoration of youth, and the like. So she would even throw her money at the occult. Places greed will take you. Well then, that brings us to Hideki Araishi. She presumably funded his research into the rite of resurrection as well. That's what it all points towards. I wouldn't be surprised if the Witch of Hihaku pounced at the rumors of the rite of resurrection. It's starting to sound likely. It might also be why she's spreading the rumor about having godly powers. It's a convenient cover for if she becomes young again. Godly powers? What's that all about? You can ignore that. Either way, I think EY took the payments he was getting for his research to seduce a family into taking him and to keep a low profile. The Shiraishi family, Michio and her mother, Toshiko, were just his unlucky marks. And this is where you get involved. Are you feeling steady, ma'am? Huh? This has nothing to do with me. What are you talking about? Ma'am, please calm down. EY moved in with the Shiraishis to practice his magic. He needed a sacrifice to perform his youth restoration spell, but that meant extracting the life force from someone young. So it was EY, this man? EY worshipped Nejima, so he must have also despised Nejima's detractors. Not to mention, he was captured and sent to jail once before. Surely he had a bone to pick with the police. So when he realized he had the chance to both avenge Nejima, embarrass the police, and acquire a living sacrifice at the same time? Damn it. You got it. EY kidnapped Harue Shigemu's son and managed to score 3 birds with 1 stone. That is quite the face from Harue. Jesus. You're telling me then that hard man, he never had the intention of returning my child? I thought there might have been a reason why the kidnapper seemed to be mocking the police. He never wanted money. His aim was to humiliate the force. It all makes sense. He must have used Michio to lower your boy's defenses and then kidnapped him on his way back home. Man, he took Shuichi. Man, please calm down. I understand, but you must remember to breathe. You don't understand? You have absolutely no idea what I'm going through. This isn't a joke. I wouldn't expect the police to understand. You'll never understand. Living sacrifices? What a stupid idea from a stupid little man. Okay, ma'am. Let's just take a moment to breathe. Why don't we go get some fresh air? I can't believe this. This is... Chief, I think it's best we take our leave. But before we go, there's one more important piece of information noted in his journal. Oh? Iwai got in contact with Nejima last year, after Nejima was released on parole. He provided him with accommodation and financial support. Is that so? Okay. He managed to find a hideout for Nejima to stay in. Damn it. If anything, rather than use his money to support the Shiraishis, it seems most went to Nejima instead. If Nejima is lurking around anywhere at the moment, it's probably in that hideout. Did he write where it is? Unfortunately, no, not that I can tell. But it seems Michio knew where it was. She never met with Nejima in person, but she was made to go in and clean up among other things. What? What good is that information? The girl's already dead. Wait, no, she's alive. That's right, Michio Shiraishi is alive. If you can find her and get her to talk, you can get her to spill the beans on his hideout too. Investigator, I'm asking you. I should be going, the lady's not well. Okay, we'll read the overview when it's part of the gameplay guide. Okay. Yeah, we can read the overview later. Alright, so I'm gonna save it here. Yes. And we will pick up later tonight. I've just got something to do right now. That was pretty good climax to end on, though. Finding out that this EY character was the one who kidnapped Harue's son. I'm sure she is not happy that he's already dead, although maybe a little bit happy that he's already dead as well. But yeah, we'll see where she goes from here, and we'll pick up when I get back later today. So thanks for watching.